So in the last video, I rode my brand new longboard around the entire neighborhood, twice. The reason why I did this was to basically test it out, see how well it could do in the wind. And boy, let me tell you, it wasn't very successful, but I still had a good time doing it. Well, all that said, I'm going to be basically comparing it with my old beat-up Pennyboard. But before I do, I'm going to briefly explain the history of my skateboarding obsession and why I decided to become obsessed with it. Hope you enjoy. So, back in the beginning of 9th grade, I was a bot. I was a major noob. I didn't have a skateboard, I rarely rode my bike, I rarely rode my scooter, which I still do to this day because my scooter, well, let me tell you about that. It's really freaking small. I've had it, well actually, I have two. I have two Razor scooters, I've had them since I was a little kid. And they're basically just too big for me. But anyway, I was a bot when I first started 9th grade. I always walked or ran to places. Okay, well, maybe not ran, but I always walked to places. I rarely rode my bike. I didn't have a skateboard. I didn't have any of that. But all of a sudden, these gangsters, yes, you heard me right, freaking gangsters started, bringing them to school. And I was like, wow, maybe I should get one of them. And Ethan was telling me that he has one, or at least back in 9th grade, he was telling me about this. And he had very little balance. Back in the day, his coordination was really bad. So whenever he would step on his skateboard, he would literally fall. Literally just one step on the skateboard, and he'll fall. To this day, his dad, Armando, does that. But he's an old 50-something-year-old man. Most people that age don't really know how to ride skateboards, except my dad. My dad is very good at riding the skateboard, even though he is 51. I think he's 51. To be honest, I kind of lose track by how old he is. I don't know, because he was born so long ago. But yeah, he's 51. He was born on March 13th, or March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th of 1970, which is pretty crazy because that was only a few days after the shutdown happened back in 2020. But anyway, there are all these gangsters that would bring their skateboards and their pennyboards and their longboards to school. And I was like, wow, maybe I should get one of them. And so I put it on my wish list for my birthday, for my 15th birthday. And there you have it. I got the skateboard, well, nickel board. Well, technically it's a pennyboard, but I got my first skateboard, and I believe shortly after my birthday, I rode it for the first time out in the neighborhood. I was like going on a walk or something with my Uncle Matt, or Uncle Fat. That's what I like to call him. Well, not actually like to him, but sometimes like in my head I like to call him that. But anyway, I was riding my skateboard around the neighborhood with him, and to be honest, I was actually doing pretty good. At first, I thought I was going to do really bad because my coordination or balance, whatever word is easier for you guys to comprehend, it wasn't really good at the time, but I proved myself wrong. I actually was able to ride it pretty well, even though toning was really hard. And to this day, with the nickel board or pennyboard, whatever you want to call it, it's still hard to tone. And that's why I wanted to get a longboard. You see, a longboard, it's easier to tone, it goes faster. Well, actually, when you think about it, pennyboards go faster because they're smaller, but the amount of time it goes fast, not really. Longboards keep their speed, pennyboards don't, because pennyboards are smaller in size, while longboards are obviously bigger in size. And the main reason in why I wanted to get a longboard was because my old friend Joel, he had one, and he would ride it to school. This was way before COVID, by the way. This was like months before COVID and a year before COVID. He would always ride his longboard to school, but he doesn't have the longboard that I have. You see, his is like the massive kind. It's like 2-3 feet tall. It's a little bit stupid, to be honest. But I really wanted one. I really wanted to get a longboard because he would tell me about how whenever he would ride to and from school, he would go really fast. Kind of like a bike. It literally goes just as fast as a bike. Except with bikes, you have to pedal them. But with skateboards, you actually have to have one foot on the skateboard and you would have to be pushing it with the other one. And that's why, in my personal opinion, I think bikes are less of a workout than skateboards, because with skateboards, you actually like pushing it with that one foot and you're getting a lot of good exercise on that leg and the muscles on your leg. But with bikes, unless you're cycling, you don't really use your leg muscles as much. For some people, it might be different, but at least this is the case for me. But anyways, I personally like both my skateboards. I like my Pennyboard and my Longboard. They're both really good. And because of that, once I finish showing you them, I'm going to be telling you the pros and cons of each one of them. Or for both of them. That's a easier, simpler term for you guys, for you squeakers out there watching this. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that when I was in 9th grade, or when I first attended Ocean View High School, I was a major noob, and I didn't have a skateboard. I only had a bike, which I very rarely rode. And all these gangsters started like riding their skateboards to school, and I was like, wow, I really want to ride a skateboard. So I got one for my birthday. I was kind of bad at it at first, but over time, I got better and better and better. I could do one trick on it, just one. Not even really a trick. It's more like moving the skateboard from one side to the other. But yeah, I'll technically say I've gone better at riding the skateboard. And same with the longboard. I actually first started riding longboards. Stupid Cody, he's barking at whoever's walking outside. But yeah, anyway, before I got my longboard for my birthday, I actually rode it a few times because Ethan brought it over to my house when we were still best friends and all. And it was pretty easy to ride. I'm not going to lie, it was pretty easy to ride. The only thing that was hard at first was, you know, standing on it because it's so long. But I've gotten used to that already, and it's only been like a couple weeks. Well, enough with that said, and let me show you my lovely skateboards. Okay, so these are my two skateboards that I have. Look at how beautiful they are. Let me just move it for... Oh my. I hope it's okay. Okay, so as I was saying, these are my two skateboards. And let me just zoom in a little. So this is what the design looks like for the longboard. It's very wooden. It has a bunch of salt-like things on it. I think those things are on it so it can make your skateboarding experience even better than how it usually is with the regular skateboard. But anyways, this is what the back looks like. Really clean. Lots of stripes. The bamboo wood is as fresh as hell. It has a Magneto logo on it, obviously, as you could tell. And here's the grip. The grip is very nice, very clean. It's a light grayish color with that little black tip to, you know, obviously take it out and put it back in. I believe it's made out of metal, so it's pretty hard and pretty strong and pretty heavy. The wheels have more of a pennyboardish texture. They're very red, they're very big, they're very heavy. I don't know why they chose pennyboard wheels, but whatever. Very nice. Here are the front of the wheels. A little bit dirty, but not really. Same with the back. A little bit dirty, but not really. Oh yeah, this is the logo, by the way. Pretty neat, huh? What's also neat is this pretty cool 4K, so good job, Apple, for actually doing something good for once. Oh, and shout out to whoever made this camera grip, because whenever I turn it, it makes a very beautiful sound. Watch. See? So beautiful. I also want to show you my dad's longboard. It's bigger than mine. It's made by the same company, as you could tell by the logo. Here is my beach cruiser that my dad gave me. Technically, it's still his, but I ride it a lot. And they are the BMX bikes. The green one is mine, and the silverish gray one is my dad's. And that's what the logo looks like, by the way. But yeah, here is my pennyboard or nickel board, whatever you want to call it. Still has that weird stuff on it. Bamboo wood, I suppose. Here's what the back looks like. Very clean and dirty at the same time. Some of the paint has came off, but that's because I had it for a couple years. But here's the grip. The grip is a lot different. Very small. I don't know if it's made out of metal. It's very black. with that grayish white thing being there. I don't know what that's called, but yeah, it's there. But now, here are the wheels. The wheels are almost exactly like the wheels for my longboard, except they're obviously black, they're lighter, and they look more like regular skateboard wheels. They're specifically for pennyboards and nickel boards, I believe, because of how small it is and just how it looks, obviously. Before I start talking about the pros and cons on both the longboard and the pennyboard, let me show you how the wheels move, or what it looks like when the wheels move. Okay, so as you can tell, here's the longboard, here are my feet. Let me just step on without falling, and whoa! Usually I don't fall that easily, but I'm holding the phone, so I think that might be why. But anyway, let me just zoom in. So, watch the wheels move. Wow, that stopped really easily. Oh, now it's going backwards. Now it's going backwards. Okay, now, as you can tell, I got the pennyboard. This will probably be harder to do, since it's obviously a lot smaller. See? A lot smaller. So, instead of doing it like that, I'm going to be doing it like this instead. If I was going too fast, let me do it one more time. Wow, it does not want to go up. Jeez. I guess since it doesn't want to go up, now I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of the longboard. Okay, guys, so here are the pros and cons of having a longboard. So I'm going to start with the pros first. Number 1, it's very long. Number 2, it's easier to ride. Number 3, it's faster. Number 4, it turns better. And number 5, it's easier to hold. Out of all these 5, I think by far my most favorite is the fact that it's very long. Because of this, it helps it go faster and turn better. I also really like the fact that it's easier to ride and how it turns better, because without that turning option, then you'll basically be like riding a pennyboard or a regular skateboard. But then again, even with regular skateboards, the grip is built in a way where it helps the skateboard turn left and right in an easier manner. Unlike the pennyboard where the grip is useless and it's so small that whenever you turn it, you basically fall. You basically fall out of the damn thing. The damn pennyboard. Same with nickel boards too, or at least with mine, it's very hard to tone. It goes fast, but it's just hard to tone. Now straight to the cons. Just like with the pros, I put 5 things down for the cons. Starting with number 1. You sometimes forget how long it is, and yes, I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. You sometimes forget how long it is, especially with a longboard like Joel's. The fact that it's like 2-3 feet long, you just forget that's so damn long. Number 2, it could get damaged more easily. And yes, I know this by experience because my dad, one time he crashed his longboard and it got pretty damaged. Well, not really, just a little bit. Number 3, it's harder to push. Because it's so damn long, that's why. Number 4, it's more tiring. Because you have to push harder and it just makes it more tiring. And number 5, it's pretty heavy. And out of all these, I think the worst one is it could get damaged more easily. Because when riding your longboard all the time, just like me, that's a big no-no. Sometimes forgetting how long it is, that could be a major problem too, because let's say, for example, you're ready to start riding it and you go too close to the front or too close to the back. That could also be another problem because you could lose your balance or crash into like a pole. Okay, well, not really, but you could crash into something. And harder to push? Yeah, well, if you're unhealthy, that is probably not the best choice for you because you're going to have to do a lot of exercise, and if you're not healthy, then you just won't be able to do it. But enough with that said, and let's go on with the pennyboard. Okay, so here are the pros for a pennyboard. Number 1, it's easier to push. Number 2, it's less tiring. Unless you do tricks with it, then it could get pretty tiring. Number 3, it's longer lasting. Number 4, it could go in the water a little, and yes, I know this because I ran the damn thing in the rain, like when the street was wetting. So yeah, I've got some experience. And last but not least, number 5, it's very light. Out of all of these, I think the best one, and I know it sounds crazy, but I think the best one is it could go in the water a little, because with regular skateboards and regular longboards, it just falls apart. I think this might have to do with the fact that pennyboards are made out of more of a plastic material, while regular skateboards and longboards are made more of a metal material or a wooden material. But there are times where my wheels tighten up, but other than that, I mean, it still rides pretty well. Longer lasting and less tiring are also really good too. Even though the fact that it's very light can be good, I think less tiring is better. Or at least for lazy people. Lazy fat people who want to ride something small. Okay, so here are the cons about pennyboards. And yes, I know there's more out there. I just couldn't come up with any. So here are the ones I chose. Number 1, it's very small. Number 2, it's harder to tone. Number 3, it's harder to ride. In some situations. Number 4, you sometimes forget how small it is. Which is true, just like with the longboard. You forget the size. And number 5, it's usually made out of plastic, which I absolutely hate about pennyboards. Even nickel boards, or at least the one I have, is made out of a wooden substance. Most pennyboards are made out of the dumbest, cheapest plastic that there is out there. And most of it's probably made and manufactured in China. And this takes me to the worst con. It's usually made out of plastic. I absolutely hate this because it's cheap to make and it falls apart easier. Kind of like fidget spinners. Get the cheap $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 ones, they break easier. Or they fall apart in an easier manner. But get the more expensive ones, like the $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 ones, they will last longer. Same with skateboards. It's harder to ride and it's harder to turn are also some of the worst cons out there for pennyboards. Because, I mean, you need something that turns in an easy manner. But with pennyboards, that's the complete opposite. Same with riding, especially while trying to do tricks. With regular skateboards, it's easier to do tricks on. But with these bad boys, it's harder to do tricks on. So yeah, there you have it. The entire history of my skateboarding obsession. I'm not gonna lie, if it wasn't for those stupid gangsters at my school, then this video would have ever been made. This also goes the same on my bikes too. Without them, I wouldn't be riding my bikes as often as I do now. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I wanted to make it longer than this, but that's fine. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and turn on notifications. Have an awesome day everyone. Peace!